Welcome everyone to another PS3 and Linux T2 and such stream. As usual, watch me do stuff, ask me anything better here probably than on Twitter also. A couple of things, so also by the way, should have actually started my data center login already. Let's quickly do that. I hope we don't live stream that. Our hidden Skynet attach. So yeah, let's switch back. Let's see how many people we get. So today will not be the most interesting stream, but you can watch, share, like and subscribe anyway. 0.frames, amazing stuff over this new amazing Switch. And we regained live dashboard, so also can test build Nagios here, probably something. So what we wanted to do first, one shout out here, Makan of course from original PS3 hacking and cracking and stuff from a decade ago. I stumbled here over some gems. Here's some asbestos, of course, the original PS3 security and other OS++ mitigation stuff. And just the other week I found here, and I should have, well, if someone would have told me 9 years ago, I mean, and I really regret a little bit that, I mean, as funny as it is always telling me unsuccessful one-man T2 distribution and then somehow everything is bit rotten. But they had here quite some RSX tests, and what is surprisingly, I said we at Exacode, we have done scanner drivers in Lua, which I'm quite happy with, and also with my microkernel talks here more just-in-time compiling and higher level drivers. And here you see, you can even, this is Python, not that we would be the greatest fan of Python, but medium or quite readable code here, RSX constants, and yeah, a little bit set or historic paradox that I'm left here with doing all this stuff. Yeah, so of course this RSX constants there, of course here this Novo class you see from Rivar and such, all those constants are probably, even this first gen NVIDIA stuff probably maybe still works or so. And then because this is all the regular Novo code, right? NVO, so this constant, so he converted to Python. And I mean, not that I would recommend doing drivers in Python, but this is exactly what I said in my very original 6 months ago, even before I found this microkernel ideas. And this is just proving my point, right? So they have done here quite some RSX testing and stuff. Even apparently this is in some net RPC, so maybe even, I don't know, remotely, I don't know. And apparently, yeah, so P3 anyway, maybe even direct LV1, not sure what they use this for, but you find here all this stuff, right? The control size, everything that we have in our C code in the Linux kernel and stuff, XDR, IOF offset, exactly what we have here in our code, and maybe in Python more readable than C. And yeah, not that I would support this the most, but you see also that apparently they had here some proof of concept. It's like hilarious that, I mean, that 9 years later we sit here on YouTube and stumble over the scams, sharing that here with you. Yeah, not really sure why they stopped, maybe because of the stupid Sony suing there. Some people also Nagios compiled only, updating here all this fine stuff live on YouTube. I wanted to do two things. So first of all, not really sure how to run this. That is a little bit always a problem here with this undocumented stuff. But maybe this is nice to fact check some of this constants, because here also this pointers in this control, memory mapped IO control area. One thing also, I do not yet quite understood how this DMA notifiers work. Again, why if I have done S3, Verge and Voodoo to, not only for myself to learn and educate, also to inspire other people to do this. Exactly, again, all this stuff. Also, I wonder slightly where this magic constants. I would appreciate also to educate and inspire here. If you do such code, please always comment where these magic numbers came from, because I have no idea. So I don't know, for example, is this some, actually we can probably search for that. DMA notify. Yeah, so I don't know if this is layout by the hypervisor. By the way, if you are into Novo, like RISC-Kit or so, who sent already patches and stuff, cleanups, if you know if this is generic NVIDIA magic values to have like encoded like this is DMA notifier, I don't know, because you also see like objects, not because I'm also not sure. Maybe some of those stuff, maybe this is NVIDIA magic numbers, and this is my recurring shout out here, not only for the PS3, but anything where we need specs, right? So even although amazing people have reverse engineered this, also this looks a little bit like lead code here. This is funny. Yeah, because so my problem is this pre-allocated by the hypervisor? Are those constants even still valid? Or is this generic NVIDIA Novo? Yeah, this stuff I knew already. I've seen this in the Linux kernel driver, this feed, by the way, cool naming. Yeah, so this is addressing DDR or XDR memory, so either GPU local or PowerPC local memory. By the way, I also hope I could have, always a question, I should have actually, the Mac Mini speaker works. Let's quickly check monitor and output. Okay, this doesn't have distortion. Amazing stuff. Always when I don't have comments whether audio is broken or not. Again, maybe this code is even readable than the C code, and my recurring shout out that I think it's a huge historic mistake that we, especially on the open source side, write everything in old-fashioned classic C. Not the most. So basically, I would agree. I'm not a Python fan. I mean, I can do a little bit Python, but not the greatest magician here. But I would say, even though not really being so much into Python, it's kind of more readable than C code or something, I would nearly say. Yeah, so amazing stuff, hopefully to inspire. But for today, I wanted to do a couple of more things. Researching here, you see, because even if you research stuff, then everything takes time. What I wanted to do, because so many people are interested in the cell SPE, and somehow back in the day I didn't package this. There was also not really even sure if this was IBM, because there was an IBM compiler for the cell stuff. And so probably maybe I should position this YouTube Studio this works again, so that I can see whether we have audio moving and not Pulse audio crashed. So yeah, two things. So most likely because at Firefox, as so often, they removed, of course, bit rotten, not as amazingly maintained code. So we probably want to see what was the last PowerPC Nano JIT. What would be, so most likely I would want to package maybe even as an override. So at T2 we have here packages, and where all the regular package recipes are, this like e-builds, in my opinion, quite readable. And you can also overload this. So for what I've done for the PS3 is in architecture PowerPC package Linux. There are the PS3 patches, which are quite of them. So they are like right now always used if you compile for PowerPC 64. By the way, this backup we probably can delete already, or let's probably some merge stuff. Probably this is no, probably I guess. Yeah, and FB cursor, yeah, and similar to this, we could have a special PowerPC, or welcome cheesecake. We can have a PowerPC override to have a Firefox version that still supports JIT. Is, of course, it will not be the latest greatest, but probably better than nothing. Let's pop up chat this and hope we can. No, this is really stupid. It's a stupid browser, zooms and everything, but whatever. What's the best way to get into RSX stuff? I know very little about graphic programming in general, and even less regarding driver bare metal. So the best I've just shown here, what I just found the other week in Asbesto as some Python code. So here's some RSX constants. The best is probably, so one huge warning disclaimer. So the Git The code for the RSX is on GitHub RSX here, but that GitHub, seriously, only here's some NM stuff live on YouTube. Also, of course, what here? RSX Berlin. And one huge thing is, so this, because this is all the historic stuff what other have done a decade ago, this compiles and it has some cleanups from risk kits of Novo fame. However, it will not work. So what I'm running an old version until I figure out, even I need to understand. You can start reading this. So for this code should theoretically work with some adaptation of constants, and I should probably really soon get into that. I have shown, did I publish? I need to publish this patch. So I'm actually running here like something like this Xvidia. I need to publish this because the problem is everything on top of this commit from, was it this? Wait a second. Oh no, this is even older. Somewhere like, here, actually this, I run this commit here from 2007 with some changes. But even this, so the problem is, this code, the original code of those amazing people who have done this, is for other OS 2.10, like really old, from 2007 probably, and this had some vulnerability, and I need to publish this patch. So what the problem is, this was only working accidentally and like with some security vulnerability, and since then Sony changed some offsets, and I still have not fully understand how and why. But yeah, I need to publish this if you want to get into this. This is maybe either for tonight or tomorrow, I don't know. Need to switch on the PS3. But I post this after the live stream or something. But what probably works, so this asbestos code also works. So what we basically need to figure out in this code, the thing is, you just ask what I wanted to do a little bit later after, where would this been here? The problem is basically that some offsets moved here, some memory addresses are not the same anymore. And this is also the problem why all the newer commits don't work, because they already set up here the TCL texture lightning something, texture transform, I don't know, something, whatever. But basically you can compare this, so the frame buffer code works, and this code works in principle minus some 64K offsets and whatnot that we need to figure out. And actually I could do this. The problem is, again, today so much wasted time, 1 hour, yesterday 1 hour wasted with going live on YouTube, today also to figure finally out what was wrong with that. I wanted to do a little bit other things, so it's probably best I spend a couple of afternoons further to figure out some more details. But basically this is NV40, right? So I commented this here in this IOCTLs here, that is public here in one of my patches, like, which would this be? Would this not be that one or that one? I thought it was that one, no. But you find this anyway, this is public knowledge what generation Novo this was. By the way, do you run, what do you run? T2, Debian, Gentoo? Here. So this is, apparently I also only copied this together. I wanted to have this in the frame buffer that I don't always need to Google and just have it at hand. So this is based on NV47, NVIDIA GeForce 7800, and cool that you run, right, maybe this was you then who mentioned a couple of months ago with this etc kbootconf, right? That is amazing stuff. So this is of course public knowledge. I only put this here to always have this at hand, and I think from what I've seen, but again, don't quote me on this, and this might be slightly off, but what I've seen, I think the RSX should be able to do nearly everything, like 99.99% of regular Novo NV47, just that it has some additional cell DMA stuff that we do not yet use, or I guess we do not yet use, only for optimized in games, and some, well, it can't access the hardware directly, everything, so unlike Novo where everything can go directly to the PCI bus, some like PCI resource stuff, allocating and FIFO contexts and stuff goes through the hypervisor. That is the only difference. This is why ideally, eventually, we should be, I guess, be able to use the regular Novo code in the kernel libdrm and DRM direct rendering interface and manage and stuff. Just that we need to figure out all the details. Well, basically, I think it sounds little, right? Just only some offsets and some offsets and attributes and whatnot, and then it should maybe work with Novo. But I guess the work will be maybe months. The problems also, I and you, nobody of us has reverse engineered this. Probably it should have been easier for those people who have already spent half a year of their time reverse engineering this stuff. So it's a little bit a lost historic opportunity that this has been done a decade ago. For us, it's probably much harder to get into all, well, we have it easier than 6 months to get into all this reverse engineered stuff. Just like nowadays, everything is bit rotten and scattered on old copies of backups on the internet. And also, I think the task is huge because the Novo libdrm DRM code is just so complex that in my opinion, we first need to get a really solid understanding how it works before to get some proof of concept stuff working in this -PS3 driver that the other people started there. And only when we have this stable running, then we probably should get into getting this merged with Novo stuff. By the way, let me just thank you for reminding me to pixel precisely scale this. Today I actually wanted yeah, let me just finish some more stuff. I will sort this patches. Let's see what just recently installed Linux on the. Okay, then it was someone else. Good. You probably, did I correct this? I don't really remember. Did I correct the ISO image, or is the ISO image, the last ISO image, still missing the etc kbootconf? But anyway, I need to spin a new ISO image anyway. Welcome Ned, thanks for loving this burn, and this is why I packaged this. Also, fun fact, this cool retro terminal stuff only packaged here, inspired for YouTube live streaming, that the stuff looks more amazing. But probably, again, so to summarize, to get into this, the best is probably this, even from me, newly discovered AsbestoS stuff here, AsbestoS GitHub tools, NetRPC, RSX stuff. This is Python only to have the best readable overview of this constants, magic numbers, and register MMIO regions, and stuff like that. And then the second best, most likely, is this already quite historically and newly updated code that I soon will also improve. And yeah, it was missing. Yeah, okay, we need to do this soon. Good. So what I wanted to do today is, so many people also ask about the cell programming, and we probably should also get this sorted, because this is something that like should just kind of work. Cell, of course, the SPEs there that have quite some single instruction multiple data processing power. And for this, I historically never added support for this in T2. And for this, we could create a new architecture like architecture SPE. The only downside of this is then you could not just install the package. So although this would be some way to do this, but as usual, there's often, like in computer science, or even if you mod your car or build a house, there's always 1,000 ways. I probably think it's better to add dedicated packages, to have a GCC-SPE that you can compile and emerge and install through regular means. It's of course said that just now that this gets popular and we're getting back together and into this here again, that just now they want to remove this here. Also, by the way, not a paid advertisement. Could no surprise since deprecated in this year's GCC 8 release. So yeah, so GCC 8 apparently is the last release signal processing. Did they really call it signal processing engine? Okay. Yeah, so it was removed in GCC 9.1. So probably GCC 8 is the last version. This is what I, among other things, wanted to package. By the way, I wanted to check here. Toolchain for, I mean, we are not the first, apparently other also wanted to build this here. Z support provides recently unmaintained and untested. And the question is, anyway, we can just downdate this. I had here how to build this. To build this was relatively easy. Just regular like cross compiler, just that this package will always know this is a PDF. We probably don't want this. Compiler something. I think it's still there, and yeah, I only wanted to start with something that might still work. The question is it there and does it work, or does it internal compiler error on us? So you basically just configure this with like target SPE elf. Let's just Google for this already. Yeah, Google in 2019 doesn't even find. Also, did I had configure mistyped? Oops. What's this? This is like SPE elf, I think. There was some, also all, not videos. Installation notes, where would this be? But this is also something else, CR1611. Come on, can't be so difficult. Yep, anyway. We have marked obsolete, still just marked. But I think they removed this in SPU, not SPU. Yeah, this everyone else is using other. Maybe this was what I was looking at earlier. Maybe yeah. So we will probably have actually. We need new lib anyway. This is for another. The only downside is that we have new packages to maintain, but anyway, it is obsolete and deleted now. I think it was deleted in 9.11. Also, before we get into this, so what I will do with this, because this should just work. So, and maybe we even make an exact image example. Exact image, of course, our open source image processing stuff. Exact image here somewhere on our home page. What exact image? Hello, why is this not the first link? Are you kidding me? Provides large format printing. What? It's hilarious. Anyway, I thought maybe even adding support for some algorithms on the Celsen for as an example for you, because this is just regularly programmable like a regular processor, and this is why I think this probably should be quite a nice thing for everyone to use and less error prone, right? If the problem with the RSX is if you write something in the command register that the RSX doesn't like, then you get from the hypervisor some GPU exception, and I don't even know how to recover from this yet. So as soon as we get the first exception that something failed, then we need to reboot. So that is next here, creating these new packages in T2. The only drawback here, new lib, I think probably I do not yet have new lib. Find new lib. Yeah, don't have this, so probably the thing is, as I said, we could add this as an architecture, but if we add this as an architecture, then you cannot just emerge this. That is this is so often the choice between having it like nicely sorted in your source code, but then it's not as usable by users. So yeah, probably dedicated like this will probably be GCC -SPE or whatever then, and SPU. Yeah, Firefox, what was the last version for that? 10, of course, 10.4 Fox is for PowerPC Macs. This is probably a little bit too old-fashioned and certainly too Mac optimized. Also, fun fact, someone on Twitter just asked me, by the way, maybe shouldn't, as usual, not show all that here. Where would be the link to, does it have, maybe not, no. Let me just post this link there on Twitter to this video. Maybe more people want to tune in, because people start to ask me so many questions, like live questions, how to get into coding, this and that, and even financial questions now that I have not even answered on YouTube because too many comments. Copy link location. Just don't want to. Sometimes I have crazy stuff there going on the Twitter feed. Back in a second. Where would be the comments be? Like here. And close that nonsense. Post that and tweet here for speaking about Black is Beautiful on, yeah, this kind of tweets where you never know, but can shout out here our PS3 armor here on exactly this kind of tweets. You never know what kind of Black is Beautiful tweets you get there live on YouTube. Anyway, so yeah, that's up today. Adding these packages, medium, boring maybe, but ask me anything in between. And then RSX also, where are my stuff here? SPU ELF, yeah. So new packages, as I said so often, I usually start with, this is then certainly developer. We actually, SVN MKDeer, is this even hopefully focused? Good enough. So this is GCC, SPU, this is probably SPU ELF, right? And also if you in the meantime want to help me and Google what is the last version that had, doesn't need to be this 10.4 Fox thing, can be most likely the regular version of Firefox maybe. So SPE, cell SPE, actually, yeah, this is what I don't really like. So most of the namings, you call this here SPE and then here SPU, but I probably name this because the target is named SPU. I will most likely just name this SPU or SPE, SPE, let's shortly cell SPU wiki. Always, I mean, naming you can always change, just I don't want to SPE. Why do they call it then SPU there? It's always memory controller. Each SP is a dual issue order processor composed of a synergistic processing unit, SPU, and a memory synergy processing element. Welcome. SP units controller, yeah. Maybe we call this, yeah. I mean, I'm not the greatest fan of this confusing naming, but maybe could we call it SPE? Anyway, whatever I name it now, I will regret this. So I'm new here. Could you explain a little resume about what are you doing? Resume. I studied computer science. I run an IT company. I run for 20 years a source distribution, the first 10 years as Rock Linux creator Clifford Wolf, nowadays T2. Built from source, amazing stuff, not only x86 but Spark, PowerPC, ARM, MIPS, PS3, SGI, Octane, you name it. And nowadays making PS3 great again because somehow not too many people cared the last decades. That is probably the short summary of that SPE. Then maybe copy the GCC stuff as description. This is eBuild stuff in T2, SPE desk and conf. And then the only challenge is, so yeah, I mean we could, what do I have here? We have two, I mean we could, so first of all we don't need that crap, and maybe collection for the cell SPE, SPU, I don't know, something. Let's downdate this to, I don't know, what would be the, let's check what was the last package, developer, GCC, it's the last 8 release we had. 8. Another thing, so 8 is here, 8.2, let's use probably R83, yeah, okay. Let's update this to that. And yeah, so today, of course, the next day is RSX because we finally want more accelerated graphics on the PS3. And I said this before, I'm actually, oh, we also need bin utils, by the way. Maybe in bin utils they have not deprecated it yet. So bin utils SPE. Hello everyone. And some people watching, that is amazing. Welcome everyone. The more complicated stuff it will be to cross-compile this, because this would be, I think, what they call Canadian cross, meaning cross-compiler, you build your compiler that you cross-compile any program like a compiler, like PowerPC for PowerPC, and Canadian cross is you build on x86, cross-compile to PowerPC, and this compiler doesn't target PowerPC but the cell SPE. I think this would most likely be Canadian cross, because ideally this should cross-compile to cross-compile, hopefully. Anyway, bin utils. So as soon as I have this cell stuff packaged, also not that, obviously bin utils. Then we will continue with RSX stuff first. What is next with the RSX stuff? So first document this difference in offset that I had to hack around that to get this working. And then also only live with typo bin utils SPE, better without typo. And here we could be lucky that this builds with the latest version, if it's not yet removed there. The cell SP, whatever. And yeah, so we will hardcode. Normally the bin utils actually can target multiple targets. So this is a T2 ebuild like shellcode stuff, and LD default gold threads. So not really sure if we need this. We need to scrub, I don't know, maybe delete all of this. This code prefix, so actually, so program prefix, we will, this is a often generically supported configure option to transform the name, and we want to transform this appending SPU apparently. Maybe not the greatest fan of this naming, but let's go for this first. Where do we put this? I don't know, maybe. Usually I prefer, personally I prefer usually I prefer to sort this by importance, so like more important stuff first. That would be here, like some more important stuff that this name is maybe changed, or maybe even very top. And then the generic build stuff, and not really sure which of those we all need. Maybe try this out most of them and then try to re-add. What do they add here? Configure, disable W error, target. Right, target we need, obviously, because so normally bin utils even would support many targets, and this would be only supporting this one target. Actually, very theoretically we could have the, but yeah, this is too. This also would mean, because we could, I was thinking the regular bin utils can support all targets. I think that it has like targets all. Where did I save this correctly? Let's maybe try to build this here. Not really sure if this would work, but just for a test, bin utils SPE, I think. Well, yeah, this is with the naming. Do you use SPE? Do you use SPU? As usual, by the very fun stuff I could, but yeah, let's not overload. And I also need to run the config again to recache this. This was PowerPC 6432. Yeah, of course, yeah, native versus cross. Also, some stuff I need to optimize another day here anyway. Yeah, I hope you like this, working on source code. Some stuff just, you see, everything takes some time. Would this work, by the way? This could theoretically, does this cross-compile? Anyway, we will see whatever of the T2 automatics and stuff makes this build. And it makes sense, of course. I mean, back in the day we did cell programming, we just didn't package this. We often, because we want this kind of stuff we did. And yeah, for that somehow, anyway, should have packaged this a decade ago, but better late than never. Also, always looks better to follow the log here. But probably nobody posted here something regards to Firefox, right? This was bin utils. SPE, okay, this is actually building. Does this. Oh, this was tail, let's use less and see if we have here this configure options like target. Yeah, target SPU11. Okay, this has, okay, dang it. These are the things, so this T2 is warning us, T2 of course our source distribution. This is now producing some shared files, which is not cool. This messages, and yeah, anyway, maybe we do this another day. Info, yeah, we need to slightly wonder why it is not transforming these names together with this transform something. We could probably SED this. Maybe I do this another day. So this build, a little bit, this errors is just generic automatically detected shared file stuff. Sharing this file with multiple packages, of course, not something you would want in a Linux distribution. So nobody came up with PowerPC links already, right? Maybe I actually should change the camera view to show the P3, I guess. Probably that would make more people to stay connected here, I guess. Actually, wait a second. Raptor Computing working on bringing up Chrome's JavaScript. Yeah, someone said the other day, what is, by the way, the current JIT in Firefox? The problem is with his names. Trace Monkey something. What is the latest PowerPC Nano JIT future features? Because I'm pretty sure with some new JavaScript something they most likely, well, this next thing is of course also Rust, and my grief there with this Rust stuff. Actually, I'm surprised that this builds so much. Usually, well, it had some shared files, but SPE, so yeah, target. Target, so yeah, we have here two things automatically added. Host arch, target arch. Okay, this is target. What did I even change this already? Maybe I forgot actually to. Let's abort this here sooner than later. I think I have not yet modified here the GCC SPE. Yeah, so this is because most stuff we can delete, so this is not using the T2 target, and instead, of course, we need SPU11, and yeah, remove W error, and then here's some wrapper. Do we probably also not this wrapper thing because it is from the system compiler. This object here we need, configure script, languages, so this is, we probably only want this languages, then the rest, I'm not really so sure. This is system compiler, multilib also not, as this is only for the SPU. So you see this, of course, system compiler much more stuff, tool chain, program. Actually, we want program prefix, right? So we want here actually together with, as I said, important stuff first. Oops, yeah, mouse wheel stuff that I don't like. So program prefix is also I think SPE we called that, and then not this glibc stuff, and yeah, languages here, certainly not Go, and pre-make, making this GCC much more toolchain, libatomic, and maybe we actually, maybe we add it back when we need this on demand. Probably also. Would this has standard? Not sure if. Questions over questions. Not sure if this would have a standard STL then. Probably that was what we need newlib for. Again, let's. If not native, then maybe always disable. Not sure. Maybe mostly disable this stuff. Yeah, actually we need here another assembler. So this is what they had here: GCC configure system set libs libspp, disable checking, disable threads apparently, and program target. Oh, only SPU. Why was it not somewhere SPU elf and here SPU? Whatever. SPU also. Oh, wait a second. No, this was correct. This was SPU. Let's see. We had here. Yeah. So GNU RS becomes threads also not. So yeah, with RS actually probably like that most likely. Maybe even dynamic with a prefix for op, but whatever. And also this wrapper not toolchain. Yeah, let's just delete here most stuff and see what. Yeah, certainly not system. Where are our languages? Yeah, these are the languages there. And what else do they have there? Target languages disable. Yeah, here's some libspp. Maybe even more, but actually or there. Also threads, I think, right? Whatever exactly this is always doing, but whatever. Yeah, just a lot of, when you wondered why did I get into YouTube live streaming, that, well, maybe inspire you to just do this. Basically, every one of you could probably do this if you're interested in the SPE stuff, but it's already amazing that people started to send some stuff in. And how much time documenting on YouTube, how much time, when people always think, yeah, open source something, how much time everything takes. We had here SPU, so that should be, yeah, with those SPULD, and yeah, okay, so this translated this directly to SPU unknown elf. Maybe SPU elf would also have worked. Of course, this failed already. Only here live on YouTube, always something failing. Configure with LD or cannot execute. Okay, so this is interesting. So then we need a cross-bin utils also in. Then we need that already in cross-compiled there. That makes everything a little bit more complicated. So then we need a bin utils that natively runs bin utils SPE. So if toolchains in bindir, probably that, and this route that, and would that work? Let's think. Program prefix SPU target configure. Let's maybe give it a try. That means we need this not only, so this are the two things always in system. enablement toolchain, even when you make an ARM or ARM MIPS build 42. The toolchain is the native stuff, like a compiler, like natively running cross-compiler. That is what we need here. We need already this bin utils. This also means actually that we can already in GCC, this means we need here actually if not at stage native, actually we can native or actually okay, maybe this if okay, this build. I wonder slightly, maybe we don't even put this, oops, because we need the full absolute path in there. Actually, maybe we don't put this in PowerPC in this alien path there. That was what toolchain? Tools cross and cross CC. Yeah, so SPU LD, no input files. Okay, this works. This is our cross tool chain that apparently works. I only wonder, maybe GCC, do I compile with? Yeah, I compiled with tempfs, then my files are gone. So many details. Because I think this is slightly making it too complicated with where are my bin utils. Where are my bin utils? Cross CC here, bin dir, so I think I don't really want it there. This is only a special cross, system cross. I think I want it in a regular bin dir, because then doesn't really matter too much, huh? Maybe we disable tempfs for a second to better debug this. So let's build this bin utils again to a regular path, because we need make our life slightly easier, that only the system cross-compiler stuff is in this cross-cc dir, that for historic reasons we have there. And this is in the regular bin dir. That should also be, by the way, we can already debug this. So source, this by the way was stage 0, yeah. Let's check what the bin dir would be. User bin and root. Oops. Yeah, okay, so tools cross bin dir. I also only do new compiler stuff. Normally you don't touch this for a decade, and then of course I need to debug this. Yeah, there are all the normal stuff like whatever you need to cross-compile, bootstrap a distribution. So this build, of course, then we should have in this directory. Let's see, this is now the SPU stuff. So this is, so this is tools cross. Yeah, anyway, so okay, for the GCC then let's first get one GCC build. And that would be that. So if at stage, if not native, then we need our toolchain stuff. And otherwise, this user bin like this. This is why you always have a little bit code here, just because some paths are different for cross-compiler and later natively in the system, because here it is, let's see, native, it should probably be also bin dir, so maybe we make it like this, and someone could hypothetically install it in opt if they wanted to. Always nice to have variables that match all over the place. And if not native, then it is root, and maybe bin dir works. This could probably work like this, but this is not yet perfect. So you see, why does it always take so much time? For a Canadian cross, this would most likely be slightly different, because for a Canadian cross then this is root already. Anyway, it is then already the system root, so then we probably need to alter this a little bit, but whatever, also not with typo. This could theoretically work like this. Let's give this a second try. This would be, so at least, yeah, okay, exactly, this would probably not build at stage. Also, why not command not found? Does it need, if not at stage, does it at stage native? Does it need a space there? Maybe, apparently, looks like that. So let's check, this could be the wrong path, I think, because this is system root. Yeah, what do we have? Do we have tools there? Okay, we have tools there, so this would then maybe this root should work in both places. This root tools, bin there. Tools cross, or do we have this? Maybe not this. Tools native. Also toolchain. Tools cross. What did we had here right now? Did we had? Yeah, okay, so this probably should work for bootstrapping toolchain. Actually, I'm surprised that it still compiles for some strange reason. Why would it still compile? Also the thing when you're sometimes surprised that it compiled. Anyway, let's actually, we can take a look. Why does it now hang? This is why I usually use tempfs. This is a virtual machine that is quite crowded, and then without tempfs, let's see, as equals toolchain user bin, but it's not there, right? Why would this compile so long, or did it not? Strange stuff. Or can we just, anyway, so many questions. Would it work with a relative path without the full parse, and that works by looking it up in the parse? Anyway, let's make this what I think should work for both cases, and then hope it actually builds fully. It gets a little bit long, but whatever. That's what it is. We can make this actually 2 lines, and it's also this root needs. Did I not copy this only live on YouTube? This probably has a chance to work. Let's give this another try. Yeah, I'm surprised. Does the chat work, or people don't have so many questions? I could actually, are we even 0 drop frames? Amazing stuff. Also, yeah, so the new switch, the new Netgear switch, do I have even, where did I? Oh, I already put the box into the trash recycling bin. The new Netgear switch that I unpacked stays too cool to the touch, so much to 10 years of network switch evolution and innovation. This is really what I like. The other switch, really well. Of course, it's a little hilarious on Friday for Future. We have now an energy efficient switch, and then we run a fat PS3. But probably the only solution to that is keep the fat running and purchase solar cells. Certainly. Can't wait to see the 8th SP in the cell on the P3 get unlocked. Possibly, yeah. Does someone of all of you P3 fans who have, I've not done P3 the last decade, but the decade before this year. Also, by the way, maybe let's see, can I get this. Are the cables hanging in a way? Yeah, also, if you want to share, like, and subscribe, donate to Patreon and fun stuff like that. That also, maybe my wife is missing me, apparently, allegedly. Hope I don't pull any cable out. That would be, yeah, for share, like, and subscribe. Because maybe next I need a battery-backed portable, like Sennheiser wireless audio transmitter thing for more portable camera use. Like that is probably more enjoyable and gets more views on YouTube, I guess, with more PS3 and Octane to view, probably. But if you have recommendations for camera setup and videography, always, and yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, because we spend our nearly non-existing YouTube AdSense revenue faster on new gear than. Anyway, back in a second after I check who called me. So, comments in the audience. Yep, we upgraded our P3 gear. For if you are new to this, previous live streams, getting the DE-CR 1400 in operation. I knew this immediately looks just so much better, right? You don't see my ugly face there, and instead a nice P3. Fair enough. I only ever had as far as back, not too, but for my development. What development did you do? Let's see, what do we have here? Yeah, so 8 SPE, most likely I will not try this on the tool. That is too expensive, not really sure on. I think this is system-wide enablement. Maybe I try it on the cheap Slim at home first or something, because as I read, if the SPE/SPU, SPE is not working, then you bricked it unless you maybe solder there or flash the EEPROM. And I have two though. The second is theoretically what is better here live on YouTube. Do we need this brighter? Where would be the ISO? Which is there, hiding there with the shy SGIs. Is the second though, so until recently I did everything on that one there, so much to testing and stuff, but I wanted a little bit more memory. I mostly got the tool for the additional memory of it. Also coming up next, SJ Octane. It is documented in the cell BE something. According to my German friend, it should be fine because cell checks for the SPEs is fine, which is not. According to, I mean, this is interesting. According to the wiki, SPU GCC command not found, what the heck? According to the wiki, it says if you unlock it and it doesn't work, then it's bricked. But I'm always SPU. So why would this error out? It's hilarious. Slightly, don't really see immediate error. So it like builds. Command not found. Okay, the thing is, so this is supposed to be cross-compiler, so I wonder if it should actually not try to run this as Canadian cross. But there you see also, to be honest, it is worth the risk in unlocking the 8 SPE, even if it's, by the way, if we talk in these terms, probably SPU, right? If SPE is the whole thing, or maybe, anyway, even if it would possibly blick it, imagine it unlock more slide processing power. Yeah, well, this question is jump suit. So does it yellow light of death as much as consumer units? People say not. This, I think, this hardware-wise is sort of a slim, nearly, and so people told me at least that it is more stable. Let's see, probably find name. But my original FAT also didn't yellow, but I nearly never used the RSX, right? So maybe it didn't overheat as much as people playing games. So so what did we call this? We called this SPE GCC. We don't have this here though. What the heck? Yeah, it's I think it is later generations. And why is this? I mean, this is hilarious that it like finished, but where did it build the compiler? And if you wonder then why does stuff not build? Oh, okay, fun fact, GCC, not kidding, but XGCC, damn it. That might be a T2 thing. Let's see, what have we done there? GCC SPE. But anyway, we can't run it, so XGCC, but it's not there. Why would it configure this as XGCC? Didn't really do that there though. So why did it get that idea from? Here is output XGCC. Why would it do that? Oh, wait a second. This is actually it should copy this. Copy XGCC to GCC cross and then SPU. So okay, something is up there with this cross build stuff. Made it. Yeah, welcome everyone. It sounds good. You know, overheat makes not modding the chassis accumulate water cooling. Are you kidding me? What was planned to eventually do for my after I get it rebuilt? Okay. Anyway, yeah. So so much to that. Then let's try. So this is like Canadian crossing. If you ever wondered why is building GCC, someone earlier asked. Right on Twitter regarding cross compiler. Yeah, sometimes this is my life here. Stuff doesn't build. You see, not too much config, but it's probably not. So what else did they do with system setlib? Disable checking. We have most of those in there though. Options something. You should have a working compiler. Anyway, really water cool their PS3 here. I also wonder. I've seen drilling into the case and installing a fan. Water cooling is a little bit excessive. I would, depending on what you do, I would maybe rather get another PS3 like Slim. This is why for home, my original FAT, I said this often already, I stored this away in the basement when Sony started to take other OS away that doesn't someone like at home for Blu-ray watching presses the firmware update button, and this is why I had this in the basement. Maybe I shouldn't, but whatever. And yeah, so my FAT is like, I don't know, like second generation. So the first generation they sold in Europe, which was, so first Sony sold in Japan and North America. And I think in Europe you never got the very first generation with the hardware PS2 Emotion Engine or whatever that was. And then only in Europe, in the rest of the world, they only sold like, it was already like second generation or whatever that was. And that was already maybe slightly more efficient. I don't know. I think maybe this was already slightly. Could look this up. By the way, we also have other stuff to do. PS3 models Q wiki. Also, maybe I shortly check what's going on. Not TE, Twitter. And also 60byte, but software PS2 emo. Yeah, software PS2 emo. Do we have here something in the audience? Okay, someone loves the stream, that is good. Yeah, also the point was that people ask me here very theoretically, maybe another day post to Reddit, because people always, so Q models here, so FAT, what alpha series, what, so I have, what do I have? So they have 19 nanometer, where is hardware PS firmware release? Also here hardware. So yeah, I think I have C. So it's has here the same nanometer. Okay, but it doesn't have the additional hardware. So no. Anyway, not really into that too much, but at least this is what DECR like that, and that is nano. Yeah, 40, 65 something here. And I noticed this, right? My original FAT gets pretty warm, and the DEC are much cooler. Some FAT have, yeah, but mine was removed the C and E, removed the CPU and kept the GPU, so was compatible. What do you mean with anyway? What removed the CPU and kept the GPU? As it was feature packed, but well, I also quite like my FAT. Yeah, this also failed. If you wonder, the people of Debian and stuff always tell me not only one successful woman distribution, but also stuff just works. And I make the shit up, and obviously doesn't just work. I also wish some of this configure would fail then, and not error out. What does it? Oh, actually, this is a little bit further. Maybe we want to disable lib standard. Not really sure. Yes, so this most likely definitely should SP, what did we call this, SPE? So GCC from our regular, we need copy the cross 0. We need no standard libc. Disable, no, not this. We want, here. So we want certainly that here in the cross stage, because we can't build the C++ SDL without a working cross compiler. That is why actually somewhere like add stage, boot, strap, append, conf opt, disable that. Let's try that again. Comments and errands. I hope to eventually get back to PS3 development, but all my current fats are no longer operational. That is... by the way, what development have you done? So someone wrote development. Was it you? Was it do people water cool? Overheat? To be honest, it's worse. Risk documents. It's documented in the cell BE. Something according to my... The development bringing... back the... I did development on bringing back the widget board that was introduced or something like that. What is the widget board? I never only ever had back my tool, but for my... So that means you were like custom firmware development stuff, I guess. So here, let's get here some... So coffee is empty. Now, so get our yellow water that people love so much here. So your tap water is too good to be yellow. You don't live in a failed state like in the United States and want yellow tap water. This is a sophisticated introduction. You take good tap water that is drinkable, and then you are a cheapskate because you only earn $3 a day on YouTube with your failing one-man distribution and can't afford too much lemonade stuff. But you mix this with perfectly fine tap water and voila, yellow tap water. And also don't eat the yellow snow. For those who were wondering where I get my yellow tap water from. Titled information board. Eventually get back here. So yeah, we got back to yellow tap water and PS3 development, and so this cleanup is finished. What is our build doing? So yeah, next is RSX. Where do we connect this today? Right now I don't have a plug-in there. Actually I booted. Can we always... but actually we don't need to make here the most long live streams actually. So yeah, the cell coming, because I'm not really sure if I can switch here live on this stupid failing binary only crap capture thing. Most likely not, don't want to risk this. Also 0 drop frames, amazing stuff. And yeah, next is cell. And for native compilation, of course, slightly easier. This is of course more error prone due to Canadian cross build. And then another week we can try to do example exact image processing on the cells. And next, yeah, also we need not only a tool. Also it's slightly funny that apparently most people got their development tool apparently from EA, right? Which also mine has an EA sticker, surprisingly. Anyway. So what was... Nobody Googled this for me, right? Firefox Mac. Still wonder what was the last Firefox with. G7 builds, probably. Mac community builds. Still interesting that this bit rotting stuff is still online. 2011, yeah, a long time ago. Miscellaneous sign. Version 47. Firefox PowerPC 47. That would not be that old. Ah, here we lose Firefox support here. Let's see. Guys, looking, don't have any more new release of Firefox. So this means most likely this is still going strong. Don't have any more new release of Firefox on canonical Ubuntu PowerPC. Last working version is 47 after stop. Yep, indeed. So what is better than the PS3? Found something about, say here, also actually I forgot. Actually this cases are not too bad. This book here if you want, but also not a paid advertisement have this. So this I got when for my MacBook Air that I used to monitor this live stream. This book cases, actually not all of them, but I mean some. Maybe also more lighting. ISO. So yeah, what did this not get? Anyway, maybe you find use of this. Sometimes you get not a paid advertisement, but quite slim and something not too. Anyway, yeah, what is better than a PS3? Of course, uniting them for a nice cluster or something like that with no kidding. Only live on this channel. Actually, camera angle right. Don't make this up. Nice G5 here. Back in the game, but now it blocks my display. Yeah, because the other day I took memory out. For those who have seen this. Here's in the Xeon video where I mistakenly took the wrong out from the other. I hope I plugged in the memory that didn't work in the server board. We could actually power up this because that should certainly build PowerPC Firefox faster. And yeah, also slightly dusty because nobody used it the last month since my last YouTube video. Also, fun fact: this is not a normal cold plug thing, but this server, where was it focused? Maybe not. This server stuff here, really funny, a little bit in my opinion. Yeah, this is probably what we use to build Firefox then and distribute the binary package, because otherwise we could try. One other fun stuff would of course be if we set this up so that we can cross-compile this. That would, but there is also the, when you wonder what my grief with all the annoying open source stuff, that it is not only, oops, that is not automatic focus, somewhere of that sort. Because of course my data center or my local AMD Ryzen is faster. Lift this up once and we have fresh dust on the, oops. Anyway, the early model implied so many, so I'd love cluster PS3, found something about version, so hardware software for the PC mapped, host internal PS2 mapped on early models. Yeah, also wonder that the cheese grater, yeah, this is an old cheese grater that early models implies, but they still use PS3 GPU in the C&E model. FATs, this is interesting. I didn't know that the PS2 GPU is in there, though. That is funny. Anyway, what is our cell thing doing? Okay, this is something, adding multi-lip support in what? Of course, it also failed. Let's see if this is something serious or something we could, yeah, of course, lip quad, is it lip quad math or MEA 64 watt? Are you kidding me? What failed here? Oh, wait a second, why is this still lip standard? Configure link tests are not allowed after, what did we even build there? I thought we disable Did we mistype there something? The target SPU, disable, checking, disable, threads, bootstrap. Did we have a typo there? At stage, so at stage, bootstrap, var, append, conf, opt, disable. Doesn't look too bad for me though. Lib standard. Why did this not have effect? Only emulated, scene is only emulated CPU of PS2 while GPU ships there, hence partial. Oh, okay, interesting. I thought they emulated always everything. That is interesting. Send me Selby HPDF. Okay, maybe these are the messages here of interesting. Why does this not have effect? So we are in toolchain. Maybe let's copy and paste this and debug at stage bootstrap var append conf opt disable. Stage name is not supported. Boot. Of course with typo. Bootstrap. Boot. Damn it. Toolchain. Only live on YouTube. Why have I not seen this? Actually, should maybe. Where did I overlook this error though? Probably there. Okay, so much to next time. We should be more careful what we actually run there. Hardcore PS3 collectors would go for either A01 or B01 for the capabilities they processed full. Games look even better. Yeah, of course, they probably yellow light of disk more often or something like that. It's a public equipment, but it was discarded by IBM after a while. Okay. Thanks for that. So, bootstrap also only, you see there's some words, and so this was toolchain. Let's give this another try. Maybe even re-enable tempfs. That is a little bit. This is much faster on vi-conf temp fs here, especially on the virtual server. That is a little bit overloaded in the meantime. And well, the earliest models without any emulation in the pipeline. What? The earliest models without any. Yeah, so also I said this already again, by the way, how many people do we have in the, so we can switch to that also. Also super, if you are in keyboard modding stuff, right, this is of course amazing, the scene selection always. I switch here scenes with this 10 extra buttons, of course I don't use it as stop, copy, paste, whatever. Relatively amazing, in my opinion. By the way, also we don't have, I couldn't switch to the, that is probably slightly more amazing color. And okay, medium, more amazing. Anyway, yeah, this is a pretty sick YouTube setup without having even to spend much money. Total fan of having amazing, outstanding hardware stuff around. And yeah, many people, the hardcore mechanical people, of course, well, they hate as much as the rubber dome stuff here as the MX Brown here on this nice little thing. But anyway, I like it. And anyway, if you're a company and want to send me mechanical keyboards for review and whatnot, open to that and fun stuff like that. And MIPS code, yeah, also I wanted to say, is it 105 keys? So this is what this is. This is some Sun, I don't know how many, probably this is more than 105, right? This is, I don't know, 125 or something. Keyboard macros, nice, infoboard. This is a Sun keyboard, Sun Type 5, right? So with amazing Sun Unix keys. Arbitrary MIPS code. I wonder if arbitrary MIPS code could be loaded into the PowerPC site. So or if it's logged out. I don't think you can just execute MIPS. I would think this MIPS processor was definitely specifically controlled. I don't think you can just run MIPS instructions. Most likely this is some kind of coprocessor, or maybe even fully independent, and the cell. But anyway, correct me if I'm wrong. If you have any inside knowledge, let me know. And I would think it just starts the system and maybe even BitBLTs the video out of there, of the video memory or something. Not sure how they did this. Anyway, yeah, so RSX stuff. For the RSX stuff, so actually, okay, Firefox. The thing is, of course, we could, so I have, which cable do I have? And the problem is, why do I also lose so much time here? So the last 2 weeks there's this bloody YouTube studio that was a time synchronization, previous video. And then all the cables, so where do I even have, so this is that, then I need, which cable do I need? I need the cable, that HDMI to, also the microphone cable, maybe not. Where would I pull out that cable? I need DVI, so not this is DVI to HDMI. Somewhere here on this chaotic desk should be. There we are capturing. Oh, come on. Where is my precious? Ah, here's one. Here is HDMI, that's probably that. What is our GCC doing? Hey, we have shared files. So this is not amazing. This is might even break something or not. This is of course not. Oops, something. Bus error of, oops, don't tell me. We lost our, this is not good, we lost our better FS. Did I touch the, damn it, only live on YouTube here. Yeah, so much dongles. No, I didn't touch it too much. Damn, we just lost our, this is hilarious. This for sure means, yeah, input output error, damn only. Yeah, why do I wonder then this live stream will not be the super longest? I mean, right now OBS is running. But I don't have my YouTube dashboard now anymore. Let's see, can we get without file system to that here? Yeah, why I don't like dongles and USB crap, don't make this up. So how did this disappear? Yeah, also yeah, Mac Mini overheating, obviously getting nicely hot, although we're not even compiling on this. Corrupt, synchronize new device found. Yeah, it looks like this USB device disconnected. Yeah, so much to only live on YouTube. That is a little bit sad. And why you wonder why I made already a year ago, when I started my YouTube career here, this video that not the greatest fan of dongles, dongle for everything, live dashboard also here. And yeah, this stream will end eventually then. And yeah, so this is also not amazing that this overrode the system, GCC. And yeah, to finish my sentence, not a fan of dongles. Not only a year or two ago you touched something too much, fragile connections, and yeah, USB in general, USB still not totally amazing. By the way, maybe did this, no, this SSD did not overheat. Yeah, live on YouTube, USB stuff disconnecting. So yeah, so now this build finally like cross compiler. Now we have on the data center from x86 AMD 64 to SPU or SPE. Of course, not amazing that this overrode to the libgcc. We probably want to disable this another day. This could also break maybe the cross compiler then. But this is a start. Maybe we commit this already like this, I guess. By the way, one thing we need to do, we need to remove here from this the flags that this is not a compiler, so this is cross, no, stack smashing, diet, libc, yeah, so we need to remove this, otherwise T2 things are group compiler, not really, yeah, we probably want to remove that, yeah, otherwise T2 offers this as system compiler, that certainly doesn't work. Yeah, so then we probably can commit this package develop gcc spe and edit, wait a second, not only this, also aboard package develop binutils, we can edit this together in one, wait a second, does this, wait a gcc, do we have the binutils files, oh, where would they, wait a second, the wrong binutils spe, yeah, you see double checked more and most, and yeah, oops, wait a second, yeah, edit binutils spe gcc spe, wait a second, perfecting this a little bit more, we probably want to disable them by default. That is this here, priority here, optional, otherwise they are included in each build of T2, or at least, well, kind of generic builds. We certainly don't want that, not everyone needs this on their system, but now we commit this. So, edit binutils spe. Again, this still needs some fine-tuning, right? Not that every one of you installs this immediately. This might damage your system compiler if this overrides the libgcc and that's not compatible enough or something, that we need to look into another day. Binutils spe and gcc targeting or yeah, something for the IBM cell, or anyway, it doesn't really. Yeah, binutils spe gcc spe. Yeah, some of the, maybe the font is not the most readable. It's of course, as usual, just when we are a little bit maybe on the way of finishing here, then people tune in. So where did I, so the cable is this, I need to plug this also in. We could shortly boot the PS3. Also cable lengths. And the plugged in. Yep. The moment you have been all waiting for, turning on this precious. My precious. Yeah, new people in the audience, new comments. Ah, we have new comments. Unmount your device safely. Big moment. I can't unmount this device, it's my root, so I can't remount. This is also a little bit of a design issue in Linux that, well, it's of course not the most amazing to have your root file system there on. That is the only drawback of this portable Road Warrior SSD thing. But otherwise, yeah, it's also not the most amazing design that this can't come back with the same UUID. I mean, you would, in my modular microkernel system thing, don't see a reason why this should not like kind of recover, but somehow anyway. Also amazing keyboard, certainly right. And yeah, so just still not changed this here to also command line editing. We still need to, well, the problem with Firefox is of course not sure how much fun this is for you guys at home, because it's of course not so much memory, and with that it's a little bit, yeah, not really sure, but leave me in the comments below. Maybe another year, this year certainly not, but another year, Gotta love new root, yeah. Something like that. On that note, still ongoing or bit rotting. What do you mean PS2 Linux? Actually, I was thinking it would be fun to have a PS2 Linux. By the way, did this had an MMU? Not sure if it had an MMU, but yeah. So password, you don't need to grab this here from my fingers. I intentionally changed this to test. And what I wanted to do, so I have a couple of, by the way, fun fact, I have here this hex. These are these patches that I need to, by the way, do I have here something forbidden? Probably not. Also, yeah, this is right now, you name the latest kernel there, that thanks to contributing patches. Amazing stuff, certainly, hopefully, anyway. Also a little bit, yeah, the Dell display I like less, not really sure. Does this? Not really. Anyway, that's the idea. That release Linux for the PS2 a long time ago. PS2, never mind, thought it was. PS2 was official Sony disc, so it has an MMU. Not really sure about that though. Should we Google that? Maybe we should Google that. That it was official doesn't necessarily mean that it had an MMU. But whatever. Discontinued. Initial release 17 years ago. Because I'm not really sure if did the PS2 had an MMU. I'm not really sure. You can run MMU-less Linux. Tab just crashed there. That could certainly be because we don't have a root file system anymore. Most likely, anyway. MMU miniseries, present miniseries from the MMU memory will be present. Use a PS2 address space. How the MMU is really used. Ah, it had an MMU apparently. Cool. MMU memory management unit, RD-RAM controller, DMA controller, and memory with the system. Yeah, always fun stuff. Maybe I should just get one. The only problem is it, of course, doesn't have even less memory, right? Anyway, we are here for PS3 today. Let's switch that back and that to there. Oops, damn, now I crashed my exactly what we did not want. Not really sure if I can rerun Firefox. Just lost my live dashboard. Firefox already running. Okay. Not cool. Yeah, this actually didn't happen in a long time that I lost the root file system like that. That is really disappointing. Oh, shit. You fix your YouTube dashboard and then the root file system disappears. Anyway, let me start as a macOS for reading your comments. So yeah, this patch is what I wanted to say. So this are this hex stuff here. I also need to check user source. I'm not really sure which one of those many I'm running right now. This would be actually, I probably can, let's see, this should be something of git diff. Here you see most likely, except some white space. Cursor. Okay, so this is maybe the version where I had cursor on, right? Actually, the last thing was cursor stuff. And well, precious hardware cursor. Yeah, dongles, you already minimize dongles and then your root file system disappears. So next up is, I don't know if patches made it upstream. I'd love to get PS2 dev kit, which PS2 inside the PC basically. Yeah. So right. Maybe I've not even committed the. Should actually also commit. This is, by the way, now running PS3, right? Not too shabby frame buffer scrolling. Most likely I will also try right now. The frame buffer is using system memory, and they made this for performance reasons, because accessing from the PowerPC CPU, accessing the graphic memory is super slow. Maybe even writing is okayish, but reading it back is super slow, like something of as little as 8 megabytes per second, like super slow. And it doesn't matter. We could theoretically forward port this. If we wanted to, if someone wants to donate a PS2, also here for our fun. And yeah, next I need to commit this cursor stuff also, not to lose it. Eventually, need to peel it out of there. So let's see if this is the last version we are running. Is it in .lib maybe? .so, what? Oh, this is German keyboard, okay. And then this should be an X11 lib. What am we running? Wait a second, this is... Okay, anyway, either here or this is actually my 64-bit system. You guys run what I published, which is maybe slightly more optimized, is 32-bit for slightly higher performance. Drivers, PS3, and let's see, .so. A mechanical keyboard sounds amazing, doesn't it? Yeah, so this is right now what we are using. I'm curious, or at least it should be. Of course, when I start X like this, we could actually very theoretically try to get away with the artifacts, which I think XRC most likely here. I completely rebuilt a T2 target for... Okay. Are you running a recompiled PowerPC? So did you reinstall your own PowerPC 64? I think I published actually my first image. I had a problem with the 32-bit user space from the installer. Oh really? Okay, then achievement unlocked. You built yourself a complete T2 target from source. That is cool. So I have this also. So right now this is my super old system that I'm only running for... Hello test. What test? Caps lock? No caps lock. This is a super old system that I was running already a decade ago. I only run this, 2007, over a decade old, with GCC whatever. I only run this in case of 4.2. I have the new system. Actually, this should be relevant. Oh, wait a second. Did I fix? Maybe I fixed after. Yeah, it's time. We need to. Yeah, guys, really share, like, and subscribe. It would be really amazing if I would earn more than $3 a day to do here all the stuff, because we really want to spin more ISO images and test them all on Spark, and also another live stream getting bootable CDs. Well, fun fact, I have not actually, okay, external CD-ROM. Yeah, I want actually just out of proof of principle bootable CDs ISO for the Octane. I have them actually. Okay, I had them here on the other FAT. Actually, I didn't. I had them. Yeah, I didn't sync them over anyway. So the artifacts are only copying here. Where would our copy be here? This prepare copy dxdy. Maybe actually we comment this out. Actually, the only thing is because this memory overwriting artifacts only occur if you forward copy this. Like, where is this even? Let's open this again. Copy here somewhere. Prepare composite. Which of those would this even be? Because one of them. So yeah, DM out. So this is exactly similar to the Verge and Voodoo writing there in this command ring stuff. Is this focused enough? Maybe. And is this even scrolling? Hopefully. But the thing is with PowerPC 64, if you do not make the switch to 32-bit user space, I think the performance most likely is slightly higher on the PS3 because of lower memory use and stuff. I think the Game OS stuff is actually running in 64-bit mode with 64-bit registers, but only 32-bit pointers. That is very similar to x86, the very exotic and rarely used x32 ABI that also exists for PowerPC. Yeah, so here's the stuff, and actually maybe this can do blitz source size. So to get into RSX development, so this is not the most high performance, but at least it works. And again, I've not even done this, right? This other people have done this back in the day. Do we have this in best focus here of that sort, I guess? And yeah, just that we need to implement more stuff and get more fancy stuff running, obviously. So this is why I made this other videos, Verge and Voodoo, and writing this here, DMA start, and then writing here this DMA next. How you program this in Python or C doesn't really matter. Source X, source Y, source pitch offset. So I wonder, by the way, how they fix this in the later revision that does not yet work, is using another operation here. What is the NVIDIA hardware is not the most easy to get into. This is why I did S3 Verge and Voodoo first, because this also has channels. I don't really yet know why they have the different channels. It looks like a little bit like FIFO DMA queues, not really sure yet. And this is why some of these arguments there is, yeah, this channel, image channel and source side. So most likely, so can we fail? So no, we cannot fail here in this composite or in prepare composite. Okay, here we can fail. So the question is, which of these operations upload to screen, upload M2M something? Actually, okay, this one of those also didn't work yet. I commented this out. Exa copy. So the question is, I think this copy, and maybe one of this is direction, not really sure. We could, but anyway, so the upstream code is using an entirely different operation anyway, not on the image channel. So it's actually, I think later they even use the 3D engine, and this is why we need like get somehow 3D commands working, because in upstream Novo, they also use the 3D engine for that. And I'm actually not sure if maybe in one of those clip point, because maybe this always copies, no, so this shouldn't sleep. This is why I want specification, right? Maybe it can be changed to destination, so source X. We could probably get away with this, changing this to only accelerate forward copies for now. Okay, this came up. Where's even my mouse? So because forward copies, let's see, forward copies work without artifacts. Well, only mild artifacts here, but or is this? Oh no. Maybe this is why we. So let's think about this. Yeah, okay, this direction. So it needs to be, because then if you copy this to here, and it, yeah, then it forward copies overlaps. So if the destination, so let's see, the only problem is normally I start this over SSH, that if this crashes, we still have a frame buffer. We have an SSH login. So getting into, so a workaround, again, this is not the real solution, but just maybe to, because you have seen me usually working here low level on consoles, virtual terminals and stuff. Copy, prepare copy. So here we can fail dx and dy, prepare copy, exa copy, wait a second, dx dy. So we copy, where would this even source pixmap? Dx dy, wait a second, why is this? Orient corner, filter point sample, origin corner, blitz source format, origin corner. That is suspicious. But this is why I tried to build a YouTube channel without, not really sure if you want to sit me. Normally I should also cross Google that, cross-reference that with, that is in DMA, PS3, DMA, H. Let's see, what do we have here? Corner, center, origin. Origin corner. Because I would like to have here direction. If we would have a direction, origin center, origin corner. I had a problem. Is there an UART? I don't know if there is an UART hidden. What exists is for what purpose. There exists a virtual UART, and you could also theoretically pass. There is a Linux early print case stuff that is broadcasting on the Ethernet port, pitch in mem format. So yeah, basically your guess is as good as mine, because I also need to guess around here and trial and error, and I would like reverse copy, but yeah, many of this defines should be the same as Novo. Let's see, why is here, so this is your X server. This is why I sometimes would rather prefer dxdy source destination. I slightly wonder dxdy ALU. So these are pointers. Should we try to lock this? So this is function. Actually, do we lock this right now? Should check in a second. So log pointer, dxdy, and then function, and then source. I also don't do this X stuff each and every day. If we do this a week or something, then of course we get smarter here. Compiling locally, of course, with more memory, more amazing. Didn't know about the Ethernet thing. And yeah, the Macan, I think the Asbesto people did this when they had the early other OS++ enablement. I think they did this. So make install, and that installed into the right directory. The only problem is each time we risk here that we kill our stuff here. So let's scroll this slightly, exit, quit, yes. And yeah, okay, so prepare copy. So unfortunately, as this movement is not the same pixmap, I was looking whether to, maybe we lock this into log, error into log, because Yeah, okay, and then we maybe killed here something and locked up the... well, I have a program again, so I might try out T2. Yeah, also we just killed here our X server, so much to whatever we did here. Let's see if... what was... oh, we didn't bring up Ethernet, then we can't even... damn it, always should remember. Anyway, this is why I'm not really sure. Onboard, no, it's for the onboard NIC. What? Can it work over USB Ethernet? No, this early boot stuff only works over the onboard NIC. A and B, and it, what? Check out udebug and the Linux sources for the Ethernet debug here. I tried A and B, but it doesn't work. What? No, about the Ethernet thing. What do you mean with you tried A and B? By the way, I tried this early debug thing and it didn't work for me, so, but maybe this is because the early PowerPC stuff. Yeah, I made the mistake, I didn't bring up Ethernet because my Mac Mini has here failing USB dongle. Not amazing. It's also the hub here, so the hub here stays completely cool. So much to that data point here of that amazingness there. And so I totally can recommend this, as much as you probably don't like that. But the other one, the Lynx, is totally hot. This here, it's totally cool, so I should probably have done this long time ago. But theoretically, so unfortunately I need to force terminate this, you know. What I want, so Dave, T2, what I should really so say, and maybe I was thinking for some time already to make this a slogan, like T2 like raw like sushi, because T2 is like really raw, like many people, but I mean Cheesecake there has managed to install this even on a PS2, but to be honest, of course T2 is totally raw, like just the source. What do you think about the slogan, raw like sushi, just the sauce, just the vanilla sauce or something? Also should make this permanent sometime soon here, now that I installed this and this kernel is running. Also for those playing along at home, Cheesecake. When I run this on not 5.2, we might have still some memory issue. To debug and stuff, because what I had was come on, I had some out of memory. So when I use my regular non-tool PS3 with new kernels, not with the old kernels, only since 4.18 or something, I got after some time the Ethernet stuff couldn't transmit packets anymore, and eNet 3. And Stone. So by the way, setup stuff, Stone, like setup tool 1, right, for everyone playing along at home. And then maybe I probably want now to change this, to optimize this, boot to 3 and change the run level to enable SSH. Actually, this is enabled, then we should know SSH localhost, probably, yeah. Also, did I start this from user X, no, user source. But the keyboard sounds amazing, doesn't it? I mean, people hate Brown switches, MX Brown. I never had them, it's my first MX Brown. I don't find them too bad, not really sure. Actually, as X server, yeah, so this still happens sometimes. What we need to get stable, most likely we also had then, so this was most likely we also get an RSX exception there from the hypervisor. Let's so now do this over SSH here to have some fallback. So yeah, fallback. Where is even my retro term? So this was also something like, was it 124 or what? Oops. got the last time. Yeah. Test start X. Oh, wait a second. Now we got. Anyway, yeah. So these are all the commands. Some logging is on there, and yes, you see we move this, and then yeah. Okay. So this is also previously without a hardware cursor, this would have unable trigger to pause to what 0 frames. Hello, what? Nix for auto correct. On will that work on PowerPC machines with Sun? But the early print case stuff knows this. That was specifically only if you have specific support for that. That was specifically coded for this Angelic something Ethernet stuff here. Does this also connect again or C&S? Hello. Can we scroll down here or hello? Scrolling. What's wrong with all the internet stuff here? Can I get to my comments maybe? Nah. No, we have comments. System is out. Unable to connect to your chat. Please try again later. What? Why? Everything failing here as usual. Anyway, so without the hardware mouse cursor, we would have even all the bit BLT. That is what I already called out on the hardware cursor front. Let's move this now left and right. So left. So this is 5. So this is even the same pointer. So this is okay. So then we could special hardcode this if it's copied from the same pixmap pointer. So this direction is negative. And this direction is positive. So maybe let's think about this for a second. Which of those combinations should work? Why is this bloody Mac not loading now? Can't make this stuff up. We have Wi-Fi, we have, I don't know, what is failing now? 0 frames though, so my failing Linux has. You fix your YouTube live dashboard stuff and somehow this, did I plug out here some Wi-Fi thing? No, this has link, it's hilarious. This is why I'm not the greatest fan of neither Wi-Fi. It's hilarious. Log out. Everything failing 2019. So yeah. This is why I'm waiting. So this direction, copy from here, the same pixmap from there. Why is this negative, by the way? All right, so this, okay, this is a new copy there from there. Okay, this is why this is negative. And most likely this only, again, this is of course only a workaround to get away with this. And well, anyway, just to make this a little bit more fun to use, and maybe we can install Emerge some Amiga emulator and try to run some Amiga 500 games. This is really hilarious. Maybe I should actually reset this bloody access point or whatever. Maybe I should ping here something. Yeah, this, I mean, now I resetted this anyway. So let's edit this here again. Do we have here exa copy? And again, not the real solution, but let's, for a quick test, to make this a little bit more fun to use, enable unknown host. Nah, okay, no. So if the pointers live programming, can we even probably into that? We have 0 frames, so whatever is wrong with that. Live programming in C, and by the way, maybe I will make most likely dedicated programming videos in the future, like some C 101 and C++ 101 and something of that sort. Did this old crappy Wi-Fi come up? By the way, also probably need a new Wi-Fi. I'm still running on decade-old Wi-Fi here because I'm not the greatest Wi-Fi fan to start with. Yeah, so now we have internet again. Can't make this crap up here. Live dashboard. Only failing here live on YouTube, even the Wi-Fi. So what did I miss? Amiga OS microkernel. Yeah, so maybe Amiga OS was a little bit microkernel, with, of course, without memory management unit. I have a system, so I told in my email I'm on the one. Same thing, system without onboard. Yeah, I have the same thing. Told you in my email I'm the one. Yeah, I know that you're the one who sends the 5 to 9 patches. So just probably you mean because you said that the early debug stuff didn't work. Maybe the Sungem would work on Linux. The Sungem should still work on early boot. Run. Does your work run? It runs on the Slim P3. Of course, we run here also. This is also where Sony removed this, right? We run here other OS++. This is restored. The Slim only the 2500, so not the. I have at home also a Slim 3000. This Slim 3000 apparently still is too much secure booting. If you are lucky one with a Slim 2500, then this might work with custom firmware. Maybe you look at Amiga OS for microkernel. Yeah, something of that sort. Did you have a jailbreak? Did you have to? Yeah, so it's like not like kind of jailbreak like custom firmware, yeah, like cluster something that is classic Amiga OS. I like the clusterfuck that is classic Mac. No, I don't like that classic Mac OS is not a microkernel and does not even. It's hilarious, right? Classic Mac OS doesn't even have memory protection. It's hilarious. That is also why they purchased Next, because this stuff just. You mean the early boot Ethernet stuff, probably, right? Maybe the kernel died too early with this bloody preempt debug stuff. That anyway might be fine. So yeah, let's quickly work around this, because of course this is then only very little. Well, we still need to get this to work, but I can't also really concentrate if I only look on the comments and stuff. It's the most the thing is between working efficiently, concentrating and entertaining you, and without entertaining you I earn even less than $3 a day here. So programming 101 for you at home, playing along at home. Also, do we have autofocus? Oh yeah, we have autofocus. We don't want autofocus. And yeah, next time with the not amazing binary, only bloody crappy HDMI capture or something. So if the pix maps are the same, so that would be if the source pix map equals, and again this is only a quick hack that we have a little bit more fun. If these are equal and what was this now? The delta was negative, right? So this would be the dy delta is negative. Only then I think on the same x, so if we only move it to there, I think this should most likely work, I guess. Then we fail here, so we return false. This tells the XR, the enhanced X something acceleration architecture, that we can't accelerate this. This could be enough for a quick workaround to get away with the currently last graphic artifacts. And then install and start X. Maybe we should do this over Ethernet just to have a little bit more. Yeah, actually, not the most high performance, because our debugging goes all the way through the Ethernet to over SSH. But yeah, let's see if this. Oh, yeah, okay, this. Yeah, there you see how slow it is. Of course, yeah, you see the difference between acceleration and. No, yeah, it's super slow. The problem is, this is exactly what I meant, why the kernel developers in the frame buffer have. By the way, I wonder if now all graphic artifacts are gone theoretically. Well, again, of course you don't want to have this performance, but anyway, better than, I think, by the way, does it anyway, does this at least, well, at least this anyway, at least with this we could theoretically, what would be an Amiga. I think I installed an Amiga and some NES emulator. By the way, I should probably check if my Wife eventually, oh crap, it's gotten late. Why is it so late already? Damn, I probably missed the call. Yeah, anyway, this is exactly the performance that you don't want, but I will most likely anyway change the frame buffer because I want this 9 megabyte back, right? Even for you at home. For me it's quite a bit, but for you at home it's even more because this are 9 megabyte gone, right? This is here on, also can we reverse? These are by the way large maybe or huge, and maybe even reverse video, immediately more amazing, right? And then if you look into your dmask, if you're playing along at home, then, by the way, how's the performance? I mean, it's well, of course, this here you see how much is 9 megabyte, or it's difference between accelerated and not accelerated. But yeah, okay, the quick work, actually, this is not even error-free, I just realized anyway. So yeah, we need to get all the details working. PS4 with Linux, not nearly as cool. PS3 Linux, GUI works, at least your look at cool, only issue screen tearing using maybe get PS4 dev kit so I can put Linux on it. Yeah, so if you look into the frame buffer, it's probably saying video memory, yeah, so this 9 megabyte, and for you at home, this is quite some percentage, right? Do we have, hey, we have Lua. So this from 250, so you already have only 250 or something, and then 9 megabyte of 250 are apparently nearly 4, probably with some other overhead and this and that, 4% of your memory gone, certainly not amazing. And you see why have they done this? Because reading back memory is so damn slow due to all the complex bus stuff. And yeah, it's probably missed there some dinner with my wife. That is not good. So far time is gone when you entertain you and do stuff. And yeah, still not, I'm surprised that we still have artifacts. The next is we need to get all these offsets right. Unfortunately, there's a lot of complex stuff, DMA stuff like RAM in, like instance memory and other stuff. If you look into the code, that is RSX stuff, the XF86 RSX, then you will see all the stuff, RAM in instance memory and all the other DMA stuff. We need to get this working because this is certainly not amazing performance. And yeah, difference isolated and not isolated. Yeah. Anyway, you've seen it. VRAM consumer limited frame buffer. Yeah, they don't use on the classic Linux frame buffer. They are not using the VRAM like kind of at all. They have. This is why this is so slow, because if you blitz this in software without GPU acceleration, the CPU needs to do this, and then the CPU needs to, for scrolling the frame buffer, needs to read it back. That is why they allocate not VRAM but system memory, and this is why your precious system memory, 9 megabyte of precious system memory are gone only for the medium. By the way, let's see, can we quit this? Maybe, yeah. Otherwise, if you, come on. Otherwise, this scrolling would be super slow. The scrolling would be like refreshing really slowly. So this is why the original Sony developers for Linux, because they didn't allow graphic acceleration, they they painted everything in system memory, and then only let the hypervisor copy the system memory to the frame buffer. Totally wasteful, really not cool. And yeah, but anyway, now that we get acceleration going, I think we should, at least in our modified frame buffer, get our 9 megabyte back, especially for you at home, not so much for my tool, but for everyone else. In my opinion, Linux on PS4 is very nice because it's possible to run PC games without Windows applications, the performance very fast, PS4. Yeah, but I was thinking to get a PS4 just for the YouTube stuff. By the way, let's shut this down because I need to get home. And but then I didn't get the PS4 just for the reason that it's x86 and it's not as amazing because I have here so many other x86, right? And I shouldn't do everything. I rather do x86 is like ordinary, then I can also just get a Ryzen. And yeah, anyway, better get an NVIDIA get a Nintendo Switch or other fun stuff. Nintendo Switch for ARM. Yes, I come. Are you at home already? Okay, I already thought you are getting not the most thrilled because I missed your early call. I finish my live stream just right now in the second, and then I come and see you in a minute. Fantastic. See you soon. My wife is not yet home as well. That is, then I don't get one on my head for live streaming it too long. Anyway, so I rather probably get more esoteric stuff because x86, you have seen my VR, like, I have it in arm's length. Although not as fast as the PS4, I rather got like this for having VR Nano in stock and the Xeon to have here more dual socket DDR, not DDR, ECC registered memory in stock, and then it is more amazing to have like VR Nano or SGI Octane certainly, and also maybe Nintendo Switch for the NVIDIA ARM 64 Tegra or what that is, and x86. Yeah, I understand it's kind of nice or something to have this PS4 form factor x86 thing, and I understand it runs PC games, but yeah. So soon in the next stuff, not only T2, unfortunately I need to bore you with this because we need T2 for everything. So building this, which by the way we could kind of start, also too many keyboards, T2 trunk clean. Okay, is this really, I think this might actually be totally clean. Clean meaning no changes, because as you've seen I have 300 uncommitted changes there. I need to bore you this because we also need to satisfy all the other people's needs, and Linux and very nice because yeah. So this is why we need to test PowerPC and Spark. Yeah, so this is clean as we end up, and then we build a regular PowerPC for Apple and PS3 and Spark and test them all, and this takes, as you have seen on the YouTube stuff, always takes a lot of time. And yeah, quite some changes already, all the changes of last time. But so coming up soon, all the T2 building, probably fixing a couple of stuff. We will also create a lot of more packages. We will also test some emulator, maybe like SNES. I slightly wonder, is it run some emulator. That is, I think, probably fun stuff you can do. Also do the SPE things, do there some programming, most likely port some exact image. Of course, we have everything in C++, like all the scaling, rotation and fun stuff. And this is also, to finish this, I probably wanted to say this earlier already a little bit. This is just in-time compiler, what I said with my microkernel stuff, that I think, by the way, somehow this, did I lose Wi-Fi here already? Can't make this up. Really lost Wi-Fi again for some strange reason. Why would that be? It has link here though. Never, this didn't really usually happen before. Always something breaking. With just in-time compiler, but maybe this is too long. I should go home. Yeah, again, this is just what I said with the microkernel, other stuff, just in-time compiler, that it would also be cool to hear, but somehow this is now my other Ethernet works and not my Wi-Fi, but anyway, it's an old piece of crap Wi-Fi anyway. If we would have more, if this just-in-time compiler stuff would be more normal, including for like the whole system C and C++, what I said in my microkernel philosophy lessons here, with exact image, because with exact image I have all the algorithms in C++, so if we port this, that is a thing with either GPU with Vulkan, OpenCL and stuff, but also the cell here, the SPU, the SPE, then we need to program it again. And if we would write our image processing, and maybe, by the way, fun fact, this is on my to-do list, to write, so I will most likely anyway, for what we need, our own, maybe initially Lua just-in-time compiler, but then also advance on that RISC-V. Maybe this is why I've done other stuff. And if we would have a JIT like expressing our algorithms in like portable, like WebAssembly, similar stuff, and then we could also do automatic porting of this algorithm similar to what someone recently proposed. By the way, all the Wi-Fi's you see are not mine, but maybe you don't see them so clearly. Anyway, and because then in this multi-architecture system, wait a second, still not Wi-Fi now, but this connects now. Did this connect again? Because then I wouldn't need to rewrite this. The only good thing, yeah, doesn't, but this probably, anyway. So yeah, amazing stuff to come that you probably want to share, like, and subscribe for. By the way, today 0 drop frames of this super long stream, which is amazing. Yeah, there we have more comments. Just brought one WebKit vulnerability. You mean PS4? x86 shouldn't be used in anything, to be frank. It's what made me fascinated about the PS3 is the power. PC on capabilities dev hasn't struggled at first but used it at best. PS3 extra model, right? Yes, exactly. 512, yes, that is correct. The PS3 not bad because when it came out it had lots of advanced features at its time. Yeah, also like more GPU with OpenCL always. In my opinion, the cells are more flexible in terms of, this is also why IBM had this in data centers, right? This IBM Blade servers. That's good then, only could find those online would be great, couldn't find them on eBay. What do you mean? What could you not find on eBay? Chips themselves have more RAM, no more socket. What chips themselves have more RAM? Ah, okay. And yeah, thanks. Have a good evening. Agreed. Was feature packed. Yeah, thanks for watching. More stuff to come. Next, Firefox most likely on the G5, and then emulators and getting more graphic stuff. But maybe if you have concepts, the problem is I can't expect all you watch me. Today we had, of course, quite some people. The problem is this is totally error prone, and if I continue with this, then I need to reboot constantly until we figure out how to reset the RSX, which probably maybe another day we also should do. Because if we start to poke around more on the RSX stuff, it will constantly crash and GPU exception, like from the hypervisor on it, and that's not amazing, and constantly needs a reboot. And this, yeah, if you have concepts how to live stream this and make this amazing YouTube show, let me know. Otherwise, anyway, thanks for watching. Bon appetit for your dinner or breakfast or wherever you are in the world. Have a good day or night. Hope to see you soon. Hope you learned something. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe for all the next fun stuff to come. By the way, with a Bluetooth controller, you could then Bluetooth controller play Amiga and other, like Lotus, Turbo Challenge, and Monkey Islands, and other Amiga goodness, and SNES and whatnot. Anyway, yeah, and also Cheesecake, also the 32-bit should be slightly faster. Maybe the ISO was before, maybe the bin utils is not defaulting to 32 bits. This is maybe some packages had build errors. I think I had updates there. There is a, maybe I even published this. There is on the same name on the server, DLT2 binary 2019, what this was, and something. There is a directory with some hotfixes. So anyway, but whatever, it's also great that you managed to build 64 bits. Is also amazing, just that I think the 32-bit bits should be maybe a little bit 5% or 10 more performance, something of that sort. Anyway, see you soon.